Hey guys, it's Mariella. Welcome back to my channel. So last year I posted a video on how to find influencers to promote your small business, and it has recently been getting a little bit of traction. Like it has like almost 7,000 views, and it's getting a lot of questions, like comments. Like it almost has like 100 comments, and I'm noticing that a lot of them are questions. So I wanted to make this video pretty much as an update. So on this video I'm going to be one, answering the questions, the most common questions, and two, updating you guys on my experience on using influencer marketing to promote my small business. If you have been keeping up with my channel, you have known that in the past year my small business has been growing a lot. So I'm going to tell you what role influencer marketing has played on that, and honestly just my experience in general, the good, the bad, the ugly, because it has not been all sunshines using influencers. So wow, I'm gonna tell you about that later. And of course, before we get started, please be sure to smash that subscribe button, and please give this video an early thumbs up. Help me out with the algorithm, and yeah, just incentivize me to keep making more videos like this for you guys. Okay, so the last video I explained how to find the influencers. You know, like you reach out to them, gave like an example of a template, like what you can say to them to try to work with your small business, to promote your small business. And one of the main questions I got was how to know how much to pay that influencer. So there is no like magic formula on how to know exactly how much to pay that influencer. You're gonna ask them their rate. They're gonna tell you what their rate is, and then based on how much, you know, they tell you that they will be charging you, it is up to you to then, you know, define if that is worth it for you, worth it for your small business, if that is a fair price. You know, every influencer literally has their own rate. Like I have worked with influencers that have 100,000 followers that, you know, have told me, yeah, sure, $500. And then I have had influencers that have 20,000 followers that they're like $1,000. You know, like it really depends on them, and then it depends on you whether you want to pay them that amount of money if you think it's worth it. Okay, the other question that I kept seeing over and over and over, it's something that could be a little frustrating when working with influencers if you're a small business. I know it was for me, so I really wanted to answer this question, and it's like, how do you know the promotion works? So you send the influencer your product, or you tell them about your service, and you ask them to do a video, photo, whatever, they post it. How do you know if the promotion is working? Like at the end of the day, it really comes down to me, it should really come down to one thing. Did you get sales? Did you generate any sales from that promotion? You know, other people are like, oh, how do I know if I'm gaining followers from that specific promotion? Well, unless you have like 1 million influencers posting all at the same time, which you shouldn't do that. Like I would recommend it if you're paying like 10 influencers to post for you, don't have them post all on the same day. I would say like spread it out like every other day or so. So you know which influencer is sending the right audience to your page or to your website, you know. So like usually the way influencer marketing works is like as soon as they post, you should see if there's an influx of visitors on your website, and you should see if that traffic is converting to sales. Like trust me, I have had an influencer post, and within the hour I've had like almost $1,000 worth of sales, and then I've had another influencer post, and then I don't even gain 1 follower from that promotion. It's the way it is. Like it is so tricky, it is so unpredictable. Like, and I know what you're thinking right now, like, okay, well that sounds like a waste of money. Like I don't want to pay someone like $1,000 and then get no sales out of it. Trust me, that is the price sometimes you have to pay to know that working with that influencer is not worth it. Like it sucks, but that's the risk, you know. That's the risk of being an entrepreneur. So yeah, those were the two main questions I keep seeing on the comments of that last video. So I hope that clarified that. If you have any more questions, drop them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Okay, so with all that said, let me tell you guys about my experience working with influencers for the past year. So when I made that video, I was just starting to work with influencers. I was just getting good at how to find them. Like, I already knew how to find them, how to get in touch with them, how to like negotiate with them. But as for the last year has been like a very interesting year for me, because it's where I have figured out what works for my small business and what I have to do to grow my small business. So I have made various videos telling you guys about the things that I've been trying. I have tried influencer marketing, I have tried ads, paid ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Pinterest ads. I have tried, I don't even know what else I've tried at this point, but I personally have already found what works for my business, and that is Facebook ads. But I did continue, like the majority of last year, I was trying influencer marketing the most, because at first when I tried Facebook ads, like it wasn't as profitable. I wasn't very experienced on how to run ads. So I was still very much relying on influencers. But I did have some really good experiences, and I did have some shitty experiences working with influencers, that at the end of the day, like, it became not worth it for me anymore. So as of like November 2021, I decided to give up on influencer marketing. Like, if I do get an influencer like reach out to me like, hey, I want to try your products, I see they've been working for a lot of people, I have no issue in sending someone free product for an exchange for a post, which at the end of the day, that post, I'm just gonna use it to, like, you know, have more content to post to my business page, to my business Instagram page. But I am no longer like seeking influencers and paying them like all these thousands of dollars that I was paying before, for the reasons I'm about to tell you. Okay, so quick story. So last year, like towards the end of the summer, my business, I was, you know, generating enough money for my business that, you know, entering Q4, I wanted to just like blow all the money that I had already generated with my business, like kind of just throw it back into the marketing, so then I could start 2022 strong. So I had about like maybe $20,000 sitting on my bank account. I'm like, you know what, let me just blow this on promotions, get as many promotions as possible, trying to grow the Instagram following as much as possible. So let me reach out to let me reach out to 1 million influencers and pay them all this money to promote my brand. So I did. I inquired the help of my sister-in-law, who is now the one managing my Instagram profile. I inquired her help, and I asked her, you know, I gave her a template, and I asked her to like hit up as many influencers as possible, and let's see who comes back to us. And it was like, we were going for like big time influencers. Like, I told her, like, don't reach out to anyone that has under nobody that has under 50,000 followers. And, you know, but I did tell her to like try to reach for like over 100,000 followers at least. So I think at the end of the day, we worked with over like 10, 15 influencers, all different ranges, like, you know, from $100 to like $2,000 per influencer. So it was like all different ranges. And interesting enough, guys, like interesting enough, my worst experiences was with the influencers that had the most followers, like with the big influencers, the ones that I was paying that I was paying them literally thousands of dollars. Like, that was like the worst experience I had. There was a lot of back and forth. They were so difficult sometimes. This was actually my biggest problem with influencers. Influencers just want to make cute content. My brand is a skincare brand specifically for treating skin conditions. For me, it's not enough just to have someone using the product. I need them to explain to their audience the benefit of the products. And what I found with most of these influencers is that they don't want to talk. They literally don't want to speak on their videos, which is so crazy. I'm like, I'm like, okay. And then I had the influencer, going back to the bad experience, I was explaining to her, I need you to like be like, hey, this is the product, it's great, put it on your skin, while you explain the benefits. And she's like,
I can't do that.
Like, she just refuses to talk in her content. And I was like, okay, well, you know, do the whole routine and I guess like add subtitles. Add subtitles, or like, you know, the TikTok text to speech, whatever. And then she was like,
all right, cool, whatever.
Like, this girl had like over 200,000 followers, so I was just excited to get my products like in front of her audience. So whatever, most influencers, like these big influencers, they require like half up front and then half on the back end. Like once they've done the post, they just want to make sure that they just, actually, I realized they're just protecting their asses because they know that they can potentially create some shitty content for you, and they just want to make sure they get at least half of the money. She makes the content and she posted it. She posts whatever, and that is when I learned my lesson, guys. Review the content before they post it. Tell them to send it to you before they post it. So if you don't like it, you could tell them to change it. That's another thing, guys. Do not be afraid to ask them what you want. If you're paying them, like, sometimes you can get blinded by like the amount of followers they have. Like, if you are paying them, demand what you want, demand what you need, and don't take any less. Okay, so make sure you ask them to send you the draft before they post it. And if, again, don't be scared if you feel like, oh, like you don't want to like go too much back and forth with them because, you know, oh my god, they're the influencer. No, like, you're paying them for a job. They're the ones that have to do the job. It should be on their best interest to do the job correctly, so you pay them. And it should be on their best interest to do it correctly, so you pay them again in the future, you know? So do not be afraid to get what you want from these influencers. So this girl posts the video and it was like just a whole load of crap. It was literally her just being so pretty, you know, just being pretty. Like, she wasn't even applying the product. She was like, she would like show the product and then just do this. Like, she wasn't actually applying the product. Like, I was so aghast. I was like, what is this? Like, it's so crazy. Guys, that is not a good representation. That was not a good representation for my brand. And absolutely, that did absolutely nothing. I gained no followers from that, no sales, no nothing. Because, like, when you pay an influencer, it has to be like, they have to show their audience that they're actually genuinely like the products or whatever they're telling their followers about. Like, this is clearly something, like, the fact that she wasn't actually applying the product just made it look like she was even scared to put the products on her face. So obviously, like, none of her followers are going to actually believe that this is something she's standing by, that this is something she's actually like recommending, you know, that this is actually that this is something she actually loves and wants you to try. So absolutely, you know, make sure that you are getting what you're paying for, because like, it just could be like a waste of money when you work with influencers that are not genuinely trying to promote your product. So yeah, that didn't happen just with one influencer. It kept happening with a lot. And and it just comes down also to making sure you find. So I have a skincare brand, so obviously I thought like the influencers that I use have to be within the health and beauty industry niche, or whatever category, whatever you want to call it. So obviously, like, I know I had people with the right audience, but it's not just about the audience when it comes down to influencers. It's about the kind of influencers they are. Like, I already realized that I don't want influencers that are like influencers because they're pretty. I want influencers that they are influencers because they connect with their audience, because they talk to their audience, because, you know, because they can actually hold something and say, guys, I love this product, and their audience would genuinely believe them and go and buy them. Like, I have had influencers that I have sent them the product for free because I see them like complaining that they have acne, and I was like, hey, like, sorry for the unsolicited advice, but you know, do you want to try my product? I'll like send it to you, and I'll send it to them, and they try it and they love it, and then they go like, they don't even create a post about it because obviously I'm not paying them to promote it, but they will go on their stories and be like, guys, this is the best thing ever. And literally just from like a 10-second post on their story, I have generated so many sales because their audience genuinely believed that they love that product. And also, like, you just don't want it to look like they're obviously getting paid to promote that product. Like, you want it to look like they genuinely, sorry I keep saying that, love that product, okay? So yeah, that was my experience with influencer marketing. Honestly, guys, I think I spent at least like $10,000 on influencers, and it did not amount to much. Like, it was a really frustrating time for me because I was paying all these influencers. Like, sure, see, I'll let you know right now, influencers is good for brand awareness. Like, if you want to get, like, big companies can pay all these influencers because they're building brand awareness, not necessarily trying to get direct sales from it. And that's another thing, like, getting direct sales from influencer marketing can sometimes be very tough. So it could be discouraging to pay someone $1,000, and you're most likely not going to generate $1,000 back worth of sales. You know, big brands usually pay these prices not because they want to generate sales from it, but because they want to reuse the content they're creating for like paid ads or to like repost on their own Instagram. So yeah, my advice is, if what you're looking for is to generate direct sales and not necessarily just have the content to then, you know, use it for other stuff, I would not rely on influencer marketing solely to generate sales. Like, it could be like, like I said, it could work with some influencers, but it will not work with all influencers. So just pay someone if you want content, not necessarily if you want to be profitable in sales, like as soon as they post, because yeah, it's not gonna work. Well, it didn't work for me at least. So that's just my experience. So that's the advice I'm giving. All right, guys. So that is my rant on influencer marketing. That has been my experience with them in the past year, and as I try to grow my business. So let me know what has been your experience, what has been working for you. Drop that in the comments down below, and any questions, drop them down there as well. And other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.